Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Welcome to another adventure of Road Trip Rendezvous. What do you guys think about the name there? Tyler kind of smirked at it, you know. He thought it sounded like a romantic liaison. But, I mean, you know, just try to keep it simple, you know, road trip, right? I mean, that's, everybody knows what a road trip is. You know, and rendezvous is a meet up with other people. Have you looked up
the definition of rendezvous in the dictionary?
Well, yeah, I actually did, but I forgot already. I did this the Siri thing, you know, like what does rendezvous mean? But it's basically a meet up with people. Okay. Yeah, so you know, hey, why not? But today this is actually a very special trip, and it's not even that far from home. This is a bucket list car for me. Literally. This is Genesis. This goes back to the very first car I ever tried to buy. This was the first car that I wanted.
Euroasian Bob and his youth.
That I wanted. It's the first car that I actively
tried to buy.
Pursued and tried to buy.
In high school.
In high school. Yes. In 1986. Right. Graduated in 87, so in the summer of 86, was looking for my very first car, you know, before my senior year.
Yep.
And so what I settled on was I found a '79 Capri RS.
It was cheaper.
It was, yeah.
Half the price.
It was. So this car that I was looking at, what's interesting is it was, you know, much older than other cars that I was looking at.
Right.
It was a 1970. This was like a 74, 75 car that I was looking at. You know, and it was on the dealer lot in a little bitty town in Hillsboro, which they didn't have a lot of foreign cars. It's a foreign car.
It was in Hillsboro?
But it was in Hillsboro.
Oh, I thought it was in Newton.
No, the Capri came from Newton.
Oh, okay. I thought
this was actually in Hillsboro.
They were both there. Okay.
No, different place. And I drove by and I was sitting on just a used car dealer lot, and I was like, oh my God, that was the coolest car I'd ever seen. I grew up in Garden City, Kansas. There were some cars out there. Actually, I remember this car as a kid in like 3rd grade. A friend of mine, his dad pulled up in a brand new one of these cars at school, and I will never forget it. The first time, it's probably the first cool foreign sports car I ever saw. And it just, well, I didn't recognize it. Well, it was brand new. You know what I mean? Well, it wasn't brand new, I guess, at that time, but it was something I had never seen before, and it looked exotic to me. Right. And that's why it probably caught my eye in Hillsboro. I saw this car, and so I went and I checked it out, and I drove it. But they wanted $4,500 for this car, you know, and that might have well been $45,000 to a high schooler that had no money. You know, I was actually milking cows. That was my job, was milking cows. That was my high school. You know, we lived in a small dairy farm town, and you know, that was the best paying job that I could find. And so I test drove the car and everything, but it was just, you know, it was just too much out of my price range. And then compared to the Capri, which was $1,400, right? So I looked at this car and I'm like, there's no way I could swing this car, and I really, really wanted it. But ended up settling on the Capri, and went and got my own loan, and you know, that's what I drove all my senior year in high school. Right. And but this car has been on my mind from when I was probably in 3rd grade, and
a while ago.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Wow, here we
are. You know, and this is an iconic car. I mean, this is a car. It's not really obscure. I mean, it's a known, you know, highly desirable car. And so I've been searching for one basically forever. You know, I've been searching for, you know, find the right car for the right price, and they were out there in the, you know, 90s and the 2000s, but I mean, we didn't have any money, you know, so even if I would have found a nice one, I mean, we couldn't afford any extras, any toys or anything like that. You know, we were just working hard, you know, trying to, you know, keep our business alive.
Keep our heads above water.
Yeah, that was pretty much, that was not an easy task. Right. But, you know, but I thought, well, I always thought, you know, hey, I'll come across one of these and I'll snag one, you know, I'll just find the right deal. And, but it never happened. And then what happened is the values of these cars absolutely skyrocketed.
Correct.
And now it gets to the point where it's almost like the air-cooled 911. So we always wanted an air-cooled 911, but then the price kind of like, you know, it's like the car has a certain like tangible value to you, but the market value is higher. And
Right.
and I thought we'd never have like a 930 turbo. You know, we got the Carrera first.
Right.
Well, we got the 356, sold it, bought the Carrera, sold the Carrera, got the 930, and I never expected that to happen. You know, and but here we are.
Here we are.
So this car, I kind of thought it really valued more than I would want to spend for one particular car.
Right.
And you know, so I kind of thought I really missed the boat. I'm like, because I mean, some of these cars, this car that we're looking for or going to look at to buy, you know, they're selling anywhere from 30, 50. I mean, some of them maybe even there was a really crazy high point where these cars were even fetching $100,000, you know, and it's like, wow, you know. So I thought, you know, and it's really hard to find a good one that's not rusty, got some history, because a good one's going to bring premium money.
Right, for sure.
So we're picking up this this car, and an interesting story behind the car is this gentleman. Actually, it was just a friend of mine who said, hey, a friend of his has an old car and might be down your alley, and I'll give you his number and give him a call and you know, see if it's something that you want. So I called him up or whatever, and it was like, I couldn't believe it. You know, this is like the car that I've been searching for, on my bucket list, you know, holy grail cars.
Yeah.
And so I talked to the gentleman.
Not very far,
yeah, just a couple hours away. Yeah, it's not like we're even going cross country.
Right.
So
But you would go cross country pretty much.
I'd go anywhere for this car.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So, geez.
And you know, since it's only 2 hours, I mean, and the car runs and drives, but it's no car, and I don't know a lot about it. And so it's like we grabbed the trailer today. So we're in the Audi Q7, and so I grabbed the trailer, got it hooked up. You know, it's kind of nice having good SUVs around.
Yes.
You know, it was kind of fun where this one here, it's got the backup camera, and I backed right up to the trailer and just backed right up, and you could see the ball right there. And so it's kind of nice to be able to back up. I'll show you what I'm talking about here.
Backup cameras sure are nice. They make you spoiled. That's it. We have docking.
So you can see how easy that is. But so this gentleman's got this car, and he's telling me, and he started telling me a little bit of story about the car, and he says that this old gentleman has had it for 40 years, and he passed away, and I guess he willed it to his grandson. Okay, so the grandson got this car, and this is where the story gets kind of sad, because this was a cherished, you know, piece of history, time capsule.
Yeah,
40 years. And so the grandson got the car, and then I guess he got arrested in the car. The car got impounded. I know, I think he got arrested. I'm not sure, you know, what was involved, but if you get arrested and your car gets impounded, it can't be good, right? And so this gentleman actually bought this car at a police auction, of all places. Like, this holy grail car is like, I mean, at a police auction. I mean, you find stuff, you never know when you're going to find a car.
Right. I mean,
so he had the car for
all the time.
I know.
And you just got to be at the right place at the right time.
Exactly. And so he bought the car, and he's had it for several years, and he loves it. He's taking care of it. I mean, he told me all about it. I could tell that he's somebody who really cared about the car, and it's supposed to be like all original, I think 60,000 miles, original paint, which is amazing, and no rust, where this car, rust is just, they weren't rust proofed when they were new, and rust is just prevalent in these cars, and it's a big problem. So finding one that's not rusty, original paint, you know, is unbelievable, and in my preferred color for this car. And
what was your preferred color?
Well, you'll see the car.
We'll see.
You'll see the car. Yeah, I'll wait for the unveil.
We'll wait for that. Okay.
And see what you think there. But so we're on our way. We've got trailer in tow, and just like so stoked because I just talked to this guy last night, and I'm like, well, what's your schedule tomorrow? And he says, well, I'm free. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm in my trailer, and we'll stop by the bank, grab some cash, and we're on our way. Like, you don't sleep or hesitate on a car like this. So we're on the road. It's like I'm sitting on pins and needles.
It was like Christmas last night, probably for you. Did you
Right?
sleep?
Yeah, I'll probably toss and turn a bit.
Yeah, probably.
But so we're on the road, headed north out of Wichita,
Yep.
and wait till you guys see what it is.
Seems like most of our cars we head north for.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah,
You had a few south, but it seems like north is where we go.
Ironically, because that's not usually where you want to go for cars. But that's where some cars are hiding out, you know?
People take
Actually,
care of them,
the Torino is probably not far from where this car is. The Torino we bought.
Right.
It was right there by Hayes, Kansas. So, I mean, yeah, there's just some neat cars laying around in some, you know, kind of obscure areas. So, super stoked. You guys, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Wait till you see what we have for you next. Well, Becky, we're just a couple miles away. I don't know if this car's sitting out. I don't know if it's going to be out in front of us when we pull in, like displaying. Not quite sure exactly what to see, but it's going to be exciting.
It is.
Yeah, here we go. All right. It's always exciting when you make a turn and then it goes on to gravel.
All right, we're at our destination.
What is behind tree number 1? Let's look here. Uh-oh, I see shades of orange. There it is, Becky. Oh, 240Z. Here is, let's meet Steve, the owner here.
How you doing?
Hey, Steve, Bob Cummings.
How you doing, Bob?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We got a 71 240Z.
72.
72 240Z. Yeah, I'm 50-some years old now. My memory is not what it used to be.
It's gonna get worse.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. So tell me a little bit about this car. What do you know the history of this car?
This car was bought in California.
Uh-huh.
And an older gentleman, of course he was younger when he bought it, came to Kansas.
Okay.
And he stored it. It was in a garage his whole life. Well, then he got put in a nursing home for a long, long time. And this car sat inside, never drove.
And you told me you had it for like 40 years?
Yes. He had it, I've had this 15 and take off like another 4 or 5 for the other owners.
Okay.
And all the rest he had bought it new.
Oh, he bought it new?
Yeah.
Okay.
He bought it new.
He bought it new and
In 72.
72.
Yeah.
And
Because I had the paperwork for the air conditioner and it stated 72.
oh my goodness.
So he had the air conditioner put in. the
Dealer
car.
installed AC.
Dealer installed.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And I did remove it because it takes up leg room.
Yeah, it takes a lot of space in his car. And you said something about he willed it to his we were talking on the phone
Yeah.
about this car already, but he willed it to his grandson?
He willed it to his grandson who got some legal trouble and lost the car.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if it was the Hayes Sheriff Department or State Police auctioned it off.
Oh, wow.
And,
So this is a police auction. You know, people always talk about those police auctions, you know, but how often do you find a 72 240Z at a police auction, right?
And I bought it. It was running like terrible.
Right, from
A
sitting.
young kid owned it
Yeah.
and just knew nothing about it. And I went up and talked to him. Here's the funny story. I walked up and talked to him about it, and I wanted to buy it, but my wife and I take turns buying vehicles.
Okay, okay.
It's her turn.
Oh.
So I passed on this.
Oh, no way.
My wife goes behind my back, buys it, stores it in a
You're
building
kidding
uptown, and gave it to me Christmas Eve.
You're kidding me.
That's true.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
That's how I got this car.
Oh
Christmas.
my gosh, dude. You know, we have a similar story about that, and it's kind of funny, but there was this classic bicycle. You know, I was like I'm into bicycles and stuff, and the bicycle dealer, Bicycle Exchange in Wichita, Kansas, they've been in business since '73, like 3 generations, and they had this really cool old Italian bicycle hanging from the rafters, and he wouldn't sell it. It was like not for sale. He'd had it for like 20-some years. He wouldn't sell it, and I kept bugging him. He wouldn't sell it, and then my wife Becky, she got him sell it to her, and then she gave it to me for Christmas. You know, it's just like, it's that sentimental.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's fun. So obviously you guys have been married for some time.
Yes.
Then. How long have you guys been married?
I'm gonna get in trouble.
I
think it's about.
We won't send her a link to the video.
Yeah, just under 40 years.
Wow, me and Becky are 30. We're high school sweethearts.
Well, good.
So yeah, we're 30. What? 3? I'm in trouble. 33. I think.
I'm gonna let you see if you can do the math.
33. I think.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
When my wife was in first grade, I was in the Marine Corps.
Is that right?
So that's the age difference.
Yeah. Well, there's a little. She was a freshman and I was a senior. We
Yeah.
met in high school, so a little bit less. Well, let's do this. I'm going to take a quick walk around the car here. So this is the original orange car, and I know it looks like it's had one respray on it, but it looks like it's a really good, solid car.
I've done a lot of work on it the first few years I had it.
Uh-huh.
And I've had it 15 years and put under 500 miles, right around 500 miles on it.
Okay.
And in the last 8 years that I've been here, I have less than 2 miles on it because we live on a gravel road.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to.
Yeah, gravel is definitely hard on the car. Well, let me just do a quick little walk around on this guy here. Just check it out. I love the orange. I actually just had a 914, a Porsche 914, and I'd never had one before, and it was orange. And it's something about orange in the 70s, right? Let me walk around this guy. That is just really cool. And I'd never had a 914, you know, and I had and enjoyed that. That was a fun little car. But just something about orange cars looks so cool. Becky, your Opal was goldenrod.
Goldenrod.
So that's kind of an orange colored car.
70s color for sure.
Yes.
Definitely a 70s.
Well, that is a good, solid, straight looking car for sure. Is the key in it? I'll go ahead and fire it up real quick. Let's see how it runs.
It hasn't started for a while, so it might get a little cold blood.
Oh yeah, carburetors and stuff. Check out the interior, Becky. Look at the original door panels. I love the diamond.
Checked. Yeah, that's cool.
The diamond deal. Look at the door panel and look at the headliner too. That is so cool. And the steering wheel. It's even got the original radio in it.
That's cool.
That is cool. Let me fire it up.
Okay.
Even comes with a set.
Wow. Man, this car just needs driven, doesn't it? That sounds great. Man, this is a really solid car. And like I said, I was telling the story on the way over here a little bit about how this was the first car that got away, you know, like that I wanted. I was in like 3rd grade and I was in Garden City, and a friend of mine, his dad, pulled up in I think, because it had been brand new, so it was probably a 280Z, but it's still the first generation. I remember he pulled up in front of the school, picked him up, and I was like, what is that? It looked like a spaceship to me.
Yeah.
But that is so cool.
They were actually designed for America.
Really?
The Japanese Datsun rep was here, and he got in and designed it, and there's so much leg room in here because of Americans, or probably the Japanese.
But you know what this car, you'll notice something though. All the Japanese cars of the 70s, you know what they did? They copied other cars. The Celica was a Mustang, and do you know what this car emulated?
Found a Camaro or Corvette.
No, the E-Type Jaguar.
Oh.
Yeah, this emulated the E. So this was the budget, shrunken, Japanese E-Type Jaguar. That's really what this was. And if you look at the cars from the 70s, you'll see they all emulated a iconic car, which is smart, right? I mean, they were Japan, they were trying to get in the market, trying to build something popular, and now some of the tribute cars are worth more than the actual cars that they copied, you know? Well, I tell you what, this car is pretty much what I expected, Steve. You talked about a price on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and take this car, and we're going to take it back to Wichita, and going to have it. First thing I'll do is have it polished and cleaned up, and start sourcing some parts. Maybe source the original wheels, and just kind of get this car on the road and give it some love. I will keep you posted. Okay. Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure. All right. Yeah, we got the Z loaded up, just drove right on there. Steve went to the barn here and brought me out all kinds of stuff. So we got the original, all the AC parts. So the dealer add-on air, all kinds of spare parts, factory books, factory manuals, factory brochures, just receipts and all that stuff. All kinds of the goodies that that you collect with a car. Oh, and I was going to ask you, this thing shows 55,000 miles. Tell me about the mileage on this. So you say it's definitely accurate?
The original title we had had the mileage on it.
It said actual.
It was less than that when I got it. It was just under 50. And we had the title redone years later for legal purposes.
Right.
And when it came back, it said exempt.
Because of the age. Right. But you believe this car is 55,000 original miles. Yeah, actually you said like without a doubt.
Yeah. When you go through it and look at it, you will see that there's no way this car could have 150.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, there's lots of things. The condition of the body, and then like even when you look at like I would look at the pedals, the clutch pedal, the brake pedal, I mean there's no wear on it. Right. You know, so no, I believe that too. It's just neat. I mean,
you can tell by the engine too.
Yeah, well, yeah, the way it fired up, I mean, it was a really nice. Well, we're losing our daylight here, so time to hit the road. Luckily, usually we're 12 hours away. This is a short drive for us, but well, Steve, it was an absolute pleasure, sir. Yep. And if you come across anything else, just give me a holler, and we will keep you updated on this car. We'll keep you updated because I'm going to have some fun with it. We're going to do some, we're going to try to bring it back to original, because this car deserves original, right? Not modified. This car, you know, I even noticed like the original radio. I thought that was really cool in there, you know.
Everything that was on it when I got it is still there.
That's so incredible. And well, we're just, you know, we're all just caretakers of these cars. They're all going to outlive all of us, most of them. You know, so
the first owner really
he's really the hero of the story.
Because the first 40 or 50 years he babied it.
Yeah, yes, and as evident with the car, because I mean these cars, the rust, it just completely consumed these cars, you know. So man, we are very honored and fortunate to have this car, and we're gonna head back to Wichita, and I'm gonna get this thing out. It's supposed to be nice this weekend. It's supposed to get up in the 60s. Yep. I know what I'm gonna be driving this weekend, Becky. The car that got away. Oh, what a gorgeous car. Awesome. Well, let's hit the road. We're literally pulling out of Steve's. Oh, look in the camera, look in the review this.
Orange.
Watch it come into view there. There it is. So I get to stare at that all the way home. In my mirror, it's perfect. I see the headlights and the bulge in the hood and everything. Yeah, you can see it. Hey, I need to stop and drop the rear seat down, Becky.
So you can just totally be gaga the whole way home.
Although I can see it, the camera can. But man, I tell you, these road trips, I mean, the thing that's so cool about them is meeting the people, you know? The story about his wife surprising this, it was her turn to buy a car, but she bought his car and gave it to him for, you know, that's really special.
It makes a tear come
I know. It reminds me of my sweetie. There's all the things she's done for me. You know, and put up with and tolerated. Yeah, I know. We don't want to go there. It's a long. We don't have much time.
There's a whole nother
That's
video.
part 10.
That's a whole nother video.
But man, he thought it was the original paint, right? But I mean, with the pictures that he sent me and how nice it looked, I mean, I was pretty certain that it probably wasn't repainted. Probably was an older repaint, and he didn't realize it. I mean, I've been doing this for 40 years.
The average person that does not know how to tell. It looks kind of shiny and new, and they just figure it's original.
Yeah, and but I mean, this car was not cheap. You know, but the thing is though is I mean, I wasn't leaving without this car. I mean, it just because I mean it's been repainted, like, but what's perfect about this car though, I mean, there is like virtually no rust on this car. I mean, I've never seen one of these.
And they're normally Swiss cheese.
Oh, they're just terrible.
Swiss cheese, right?
Yeah, I mean, there weren't
just a little rust.
No, there was no rust proofing. Yeah. They were just metal and paint, and they don't exist,
away.
Right?
Yeah.
And so all of them out there, most of them all been repainted, and they've had extensive body work done.
Extensive.
And I avoid those cars because unless you're that guy that does that work, I mean, but
that's
to
like
me,
a major undertaking that it's just such a long process, and that's just not what we do.
But the thing about it though is, to me, it's never as good as original. I don't care. You restore it, it's just
fabricated stuff.
It's just not the same, I like original stuff, but this car, I'm really kind of torn honestly on this car. It looks fantastic the way it is.
Oh yeah, you can totally drive it like it is and be totally happy.
But it's so nice, right? And
you could make it like.
And I almost want to paint the car. you know, and like put some reproduction seat covers on it because, you know, the seats were needed recovered and stuff like that. But, you know, I don't know. But the bottom line is and the thing, the way it run, that blew me away. I didn't expect that.
I mean,
I didn't expect that at all,
Yeah.
you know. And then, you know,
amazing.
we went and took it for a drive up and down the road, and brakes, clutch. I mean, it just drove
this
perfect.
weekend
Yeah,
when it's
I'm
60
driving.
degrees.
You got that right.
That thing will see more miles this weekend than it's seen in the last. What did he say? He's drove it 2 miles.
500 miles, I
last,
think he said, since he's had it, or maybe, or something.
Yeah, because since they moved out here, he's only driven it 2 miles.
I know, because he didn't want to drive it on the dirt road. So,
Right.
hey, so Steve, if you're watching this, you can see I'm only doing 5 miles an hour down the dirt road. So we're taking care of this. But yeah, so it's just fun, you know, meeting the people, and then this is a special car. It was a special car to him and a special car to us, you know, and obviously we're dealers and we're in the business. I mean, you know, we'll market the car, but at the same time, you know, we're going to have some fun and do some light preservation on the car, some light restoration, and enjoy the car, you know, and if and when it sells, and unless it happens to fall off the website and end up in the garage. That has happened. That has happened. There's been many cars on a website that were for sale, and then they just disappear off the website, like poof, vanished. You know, where'd that car go? Yeah, how many? I don't even want to say how many we have that are like that, but there's a few. You know, and there's a few on the website right now that might be headed to the house, to the secret bat cave, the car cave.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So, well, we're having fun. Hopefully, you guys are having fun too. So we're going to hit the road. We've got a couple-hour drive. Just strapped down, just drove right up there. So we'll update you. Yeah, we got a full tank of fuel, so we won't be stopping. We don't need fuel, but because I know I'm going to just stare at this car and circle it. So I guess we'll be home and it'll be dark by the time we get home with it. But
sleep and then see it in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Let's see it in the morning.
Nope.
Well, maybe we'll get home and I'll follow up. But you know, maybe we'll see it in the crack of dawn too.
Yeah, probably so.
Well, let's go. Well, Becky, we made it. Another successful road trip rendezvous.
Yep.
And there it is, right behind us on the trailer. So cool. Check this out. There it is. Looks so cool. Just the kind of the light shining off of it. But I can tell you right now, we're here at the house, Becky, right? But, you know, and I thought, well, you know, I'll probably just haul it in or something. No. I am driving this. This is coming off the trailer tomorrow, and I am driving this basically from here until who knows when. But this dude,
waiting a long time for this car.
Yes, and I am
making up for lost time.
Right, because I mean the tires are good. I mean it's really we could have driven this back.
Yes, we could.
But I'm definitely driving it tomorrow and then some. So, hey guys, thanks for riding along with us. Hey, look, we got the 450 SLC 5.0 and the Alto. All kinds of goodies. So, hey, thanks for joining along. Like and subscribe and hit that notifications button. And as always, have a great day and happy motoring.